I think the Democratic Party has the best chance they've had in a long time to win the governor's race. This is more to do with the quality of the candidate on the Republican side than anything the Democrats have to throw at him. He has some of the worst poll figures and some of the highest negatives that I've seen in my entire career, frankly, this far into his term. As far as the candidates go that are going to be fielded against in the Democratic primary, there's only one person who can beat Rick Scott, and that's Charlie Crist. I mean, there is no doubt. I know that there's a lot of people here who are partisan for Nan Rich, but Nan Rich can't win. That's basically the story. I've been in every county of this state, every one, all 67, as a reporter, and north of here, Nan Rich couldn't get 20% of the vote. And she's too liberal, she's too Jewish, she's too Broward, and frankly, she's a little too old. So, and did I mention she was too liberal?
Well, Buddy's in the opinion business these days, or can be in the opinion business these days. Something else that he said at the beginning of his answer is really interesting and really important. He said the Democrats have the best chance of winning the governor's race that they have had in a long time. I don't think you should take anything for granted. I think Rick Scott is going to be very, very difficult to beat. The economy is getting better, and just the way an improving economy helped President Obama, an improving economy is going to help Governor Scott, and he's going to have plenty of money. I think the Democrats will have plenty of money also, but you should not assume that because Buddy was putting it positively that you have a good chance. You shouldn't take it for granted or assume that you even have a great chance of winning.
You have to remember also that the polls and show support for this measure overwhelmingly among Republicans also. So it's going to be interesting to see. You see already the legislature running the other way from it. The Republicans don't want to oppose it openly. The governor says he personally doesn't like it, but he's not going to really do anything. But yeah, I agree that it could bring out some independents and marginal Democratic voters who normally wouldn't come to the polls. We'll see.
We actually might disagree on this one a little bit, Buddy and I. I think it is going to have some effect at the margin in increasing a turnout among people who are probably more likely to vote Democratic. That's because, let's face it, in midterm elections, your party's turnout goes down more than the Republicans' turnout. That's a big part of why you got your clocks cleaned in 2010. Democratic turnout goes way down. This, I think, will probably help bring out some younger voters, some independent voters, people that are, at least you have a chance of getting their votes for governor. And you know, if it's a very close race, a small number of votes could make a difference. And I also think that that's the only reason the question is on the ballot, and I think that's the only reason that Republicans tried to block the thing from getting on the ballot was the potential impact on the election this fall.
Yeah, it can't, because you're assuming that every person who goes to the polls in Broward is going to vote for Nan Rich, and it's not going to happen. I would be willing to bet you right now that Charlie Crist will win Broward County. And not only that, the only way Nan Rich's campaign is going to be a little disingenuous from here on in, because it's going to be fueled with Republican money from committees that are designed to tear down Charlie Crist for the general. And I know this because I've got a friend who's quite wealthy who donated 5 figures to Scott already, and they've already come to this individual for money for a committee for Nan Rich in the primary. It's going to be Republican money because she has none of her own money. So that might change it a little, but no, she cannot win, in my opinion. And if God forbid she does win, welcome to 4 more years.
Crist is the nominee. He already has pretty strong support in the African American community because of some of the things that he did while he was governor. I mean, he led the effort to restore voting rights, and he's, I mean, Earl, if he's the nominee and he has a problem attracting African American votes, he's probably going to lose the election anyway. So I don't know that he needs any kind of coattails from Representative Thurston if he were to be the nominee.
It was quite extensively used against him 4 years ago in Stitt when there was an open seat. So I don't, you know, they'll use it against him if you're talking about the hospital settlement and the Medicare fraud and so forth. But this race, he's going to keep this race on jobs, jobs, jobs. He's going to go into this election saying he's halfway to his goal of creating, what, 700,000 jobs?
7 million.
Well, the goal changed.
Yeah, the goal changes, but whatever. He's going to take credit for every job that was ever created in Florida in the last 4 years, and that's what he's going to keep the election on. He's very good on keeping his message very managed. He's very managed. He's very wooden. He's so wooden, every time I see him, I feel like knocking on him for luck. Well, obviously, any Democratic nominee is going to need an enormous turnout in Broward County, or they're not going to win. This election is going to be razor close. If they stay home because they're mad at the nominee, welcome to 4 more years.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
And on that note, let's give them a big hand.